Hi everyone, Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm back here for another build, and today we are going to be building a colourful cabin. Now that doesn't really, I don't know why, but that didn't sound right saying it. It's kind of like an odd type of build really. Well, not odd, it's just something I haven't really done before, and that's kind of exploring with different colours. Now I'm the one just to do neutral colours in every single build, and I just was I was like in the mood to do a build, so I went into game on this lot. I wasn't really too sure what to do, and I was just like, you know what, I'm sick of doing neutral colours in every single build, so I just wanted to go completely different and just go like just totally random colours in a way. The outside doesn't really resemble that in a way, because what I wanted to do is actually kind of make it fit in a little bit with this area. Since it's Windenburg, it's a little bit more traditional, so I didn't want to go totally crazy on the colours on the outside. So they are kind of darker, but once you go inside, it's just totally like, it's just probably give you a headache looking at it because there's just so many colours going on. But that's what I wanted to go for. It's really different from what I've done before, and I just wanted to, you know, just do something different. So I want you to let me know down below about what you thought of this. I'll have screenshots at the end. I know that I did the little video at the start as well, but there'll also be screenshots of everything, because the video didn't include everything of the build. It is very small. It only took me about an hour and a half at most, but you may see that we started off the video here with the house already built, and that's because I built the whole house and I didn't even press record. So I didn't want to have to like record it all again. Well, not record, but build it again, because I kind of was really happy how it turned out there, and I knew if I did it again I'll make a mess of it, so I just left it how it was. But you know, I'm really happy how that turned out. So the one thing I don't really like about this, well, there's two things, well, it's like advantages and disadvantages for this lot I chose to build it on. The first thing is that I don't like how there's that path coming up to it, and then there's like the gap, and then you have your lot. It's a bit weird there, as you might be able to see. But the other good thing about it though is that like the surrounding area is just so nice. You've got that little pathway there which you can actually walk across on the stones on the left there. There's the little pier area, and it's just a really nice area to be in. I mean, like I was doing like the video at the start and you could just hear the birds tweeting on and just the water just going by. It was so nice. I was like, why can't I live here? Anyway, so we're doing the landscape here first, and this is actually kind of like the main part of the build. I'm so happy how this landscape turned out. I just went totally overkill. That was one thing I wanted to go for in this build, and I felt like, oh, I'm gonna get loads of comments saying, Thomas, this build is absolutely rubbish, what were you thinking? Because it is just totally random. I'm just doing totally like just piling loads of bright colours in, and it does look a bit overkill at some points, but that's what I want to go for. So I put this big pond area in here, and I just went totally crazy with plants around it. But one thing I used to do is just do so many different colour plants, it would just be a whole mess. But then after a while, I started just picking one or two colours to do, you know, the landscaping with. But for this one, I did that, but I also wanted to kind of go back to where I started with just put a load of random colours in, because I just wanted to be bursting with a load of different colours. So yeah, another thing I want to point out is that on the title, it will say colourful spelt with like the UK spelling, because in America you don't use, you don't have the letter U in it, I don't think. But on my title I do, because that's like UK spelling of it. But when I put it on the gallery, I was going to put it with the letter U in it, but the title wouldn't all fit in apart from one character, so I took it out. So it's the American spelling on the gallery, the UK spelling on the title. So I'm really happy how this turned out. Like I said, as you can see here, I went totally crazy with the plants, but I'm so happy how that looks actually. Once I wasn't really too sure what I thought of it at the start, but then when I look back at it, I was like, this is amazing. So Spring Sims, you've got a bit of competition on who is the total king of plant crazy, because I feel like I'm kind of getting up there with this build, to be honest. I wonder how much this would actually cost just with the plants and stuff. Probably pretty expensive, because you know the plants in the Sims 4 game are actually pretty expensive, so you know when I'm putting all these together, it'll probably be coming out to quite a lot. This isn't a starter home, by the way, even though it is starter size. This came out to about 90,000, probably because of all those plants, but you know, I didn't want to put a money restriction on myself today. I just was really in the mood to build something, so I just wanted to kind of build something for the sake of building, not for a starter home. I mean, to be honest, you could probably use this as a starter home, because the things inside are kind of starter-like in a way. If you like disregarded like the plants and stuff, because I know I've seen a couple of people do this actually, if they're just doing it for themselves, is that they won't count the landscape and everything as part of the price, which I think is a nice idea in a way, because you know, I feel like that shouldn't really be included in the price. I mean, a little bit, but not too much, because the plants are pretty expensive. So if you want to have a nice, you know, greenery and stuff, you can't really do that for a starter home. So That's one way you could think of it if you want to download this to use as a starter home. So for the outside, there wasn't really a whole lot I could do with it apart from the landscaping. There isn't really any people for like people really, anything for kids to do there, like a climbing frame or anything. I can't speak anything, but I suppose it isn't really a kid's bedroom, so that's okay. And there is a little porch area there with a barbecue on. That would have been in the back, but there isn't any space, so I just put it in the front for a little bit of a change. There's also a little seating area there as well. And we've got some of those planter pots there, which I put in the main garden. On this side of the garden, like on the other side is the fountain, on this side I didn't really know what to do with it. So, I was really looking, you know, that little, wheelbarrow sort of thing there. I was looking for that and I couldn't remember where I got it, but I really wanted to include that because I thought that really fit the aesthetic of this place. So I did put that in, and I felt like that actually kind of filled up the space quite nicely because, it is a pretty big object actually, what I thought it would be. And I just put a load of plants around there as well, and that kind of filled up that space nicely. So now we're working on the interior, and I start with the kitchen, I believe. Now here is where the kit, I don't even know what that word was. Here's where the colours start to come into play because the outside, although I feel like if you looked at it on the gallery and it says Colourful Cabin and you look at it, it's like brown and black. No, not brown and black. Brown and blue on the outside, which isn't really colourful, so I hope people actually click on it to look at the other screenshots and then realise, oh, that's where the name Colourful comes from. But you watching the speed build, you'll know. So something I really like to do, and I pretty much do it in every single kitchen I build, is do a double sink. I don't know why, I think it's just because it's unsymmetrical if I don't have it because of the two tiled window, so I always do that. I didn't really do a whole lot for the kitchen, here we go, I'm talking too fast. I didn't really do a whole lot for the kitchen because there wasn't that much space. Here was something I was trying to do. I was kind of trying to make sort of like a room divider in a way there. I was trying to do something. I saw somebody do this in a speed build a little while ago where they used curtains as a room divider, and I tried to do this a little while ago but I wasn't really too sure how to do it, but once I did it was actually like so simple. But I didn't end up using that. It was an idea I had though. But I do use that in the bedroom. Now, as you would have seen on that other side, like the opposite side of the house from the kitchen, I did have two bedrooms, well, two rooms. I was going to make it into two bedrooms, but I did decide just to make it in a one room and then have it kind of like the other smaller room kind of open up into the other one. So it's kind of, you can just walk through, and you would have seen that in the video at the start, how I did kind of like the curtains opened and then you walk through. I kind of liked how that looked. So there is two fireplaces in here, which is probably a little bit overkill for the size, but you know, I think it's a nice little touch to it. And because it is in this sort of area, it isn't really something you would see computers and that stuff in. Even though there is a computer, I didn't really want too much modern stuff in it, so I think having another fireplace was sorry, my throat. I thought that having another fireplace in wasn't, you know, too bad. So here is where I put the I wasn't really too sure what to do with this area, to be honest, because we've kind of got the living room in, which is kind of in two sections. We've got the dining room, and I wasn't really too sure what else to do. So I did put a computer in here, which, to be honest, at the start, I wasn't planning on doing, but I did end up putting one in. I feel like you kind of need one these days in terms of your Sims for doing particular career daily tasks and things. It is pretty useful to have one. So there's the other fireplace there. Well, that's the first one we did. The other one's in the other room, which we'll get onto in a second. One problem I had with this, with this house was with the paintings. Now, there wasn't really, well, since this is Bohemian, I used a lot of the movie hangout stuff items, and from that I think we only got 2 paintings, and those 2 paintings are pretty big, so there wasn't really many areas that could really incorporate Bohemian inspired paintings. So I did have to use some other ones. Some of them included in from City Living, because there were actually a couple of things I thought were kind of Bohemian-like from City Living, so I did use those. But my point is that I think we need some more paintings in this game, because I feel like I'm using the same ones over and over again, and it does get a little bit repetitive. So I'm hoping that in the near future we do get a pack which includes some more paintings. So I'm not, because sometimes I feel like, especially if it's a bigger build, there's all that blank space in the walls that you're having to go through, paintings, and it gets really repetitive. So I think that having some more paintings would really benefit me for that, and I'm sure lots of other builders who have that problem. And I know I did a little while ago, actually, not in the build or anything, but I did download some CC paintings because I was really sick of just using the ones that we had, but that was quite a while ago, and we have got some new packs since then, so I don't really use that. Plus it just make it harder for you to find it on the gallery, so I don't really like to use CC paintings that much, but it was only for my current household I use that for. So, we're on to the bedroom now, and like I said, this is just one bedroom. I was going to make it into 2, but as you can see there, we've got the thing opening up into the other one, which I just made into another seating area. For the master bedroom here, I'd also put another TV area in on that wall. Again, there wasn't really a whole lot to do for that wall, or anything to fill up the space with, because this master bedroom is pretty big, to be honest, and since I did open it up into 2 rooms as well, there was a lot of other space to use up, so I did want to put another TV in there. Again, kind of going away from the traditional style style that I was mentioning about just before there, but you know, I suppose we are going into more modern times. I really wanted to go planting crazy on the inside as well, but I couldn't just put random outside plants in. I had to use plant pots and stuff, so I did use a couple of those, which I think actually look pretty nice. And this room, to be honest, is kind of like, it's like really crazy in terms of colours. There's so much going on in this room, which I actually kind of like. When I look back at it, I was like, oh god, I'm not really too sure, but again, I just really like doing something different. So we haven't really got too long left in this build. We've got this room to do. Like I said, it only took an hour and a half, but to be honest, I felt like it took so much longer. And I think it was because of the plants. Now, like I said, that was kind of like a big part of the build. So, and I felt like I was spending so much time on doing that landscaping, but it really wasn't, to be honest, which I didn't know how, but it actually wasn't. So we're now working on this room here, which again, I wasn't really too sure what to do with it, to be honest. I thought I was going to make it into another seating area, which it did turn into, but it was a little bit of a narrow room. So I think, did I do that? I don't know. I think I'm going to put a sofa in just a second, but when I realised it is a bit too cramped to put that in, no, I could actually cut that out. But I did try to put one of the sofas in from the movie Hangout stuff, but like I said, it was a bit cramped in there, so I did just change it for 2 armchairs and one of those tables as well. Those are the same tables we would use as the bedside or the nightstands, whatever you call them. I use the same ones, and also the same one that we'll have in the fireplace in the main room as well. Those are from City Living, and they are really, when I first looked at them, I'm thinking, oh, this is from movie Hangout stuff. When I looked at it, it was actually from City Living. And I've noticed that with a couple of things from City Living, and you may notice this in the build actually, is that I did use a couple of City Living items. There's just a lot of Bohemian inspired sort of stuff I was getting from them, so I did decide to use them. And yeah, so we're on to the last room here, which is the bathroom. Again, I thought I kind of left the bathroom to last because I was kind of putting it off because I wasn't really too sure how to make a Bohemian inspired bathroom. So I did end up using a couple of curtains there, and it did turn out alright in the end actually, and I did go with that blue colour scheme, which is kind of running throughout. And yes, that's pretty much it for the build. I'm going to leave you with the screenshots here. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you head over to the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1 to download this house for yourself. Make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!